everybody. How are you doing this evening? I'm Jeanette from Boricua Sewing and Crafts. Sorry, I am a couple of seconds late. I usually like to start exactly at 8 o'clock as soon as it starts. So as you can see, Melo wants to say hi. Um, I have been, just to give you a little recap of this week, I have been extremely, extremely busy. Lots of orders coming in. Not that it wasn't expected. It is the holidays and a lot of people are shopping for their Christmas gifts. So I know that there has been, a big push. So I have been running my machines nonstop. My 10 needle machine, needle threader broke. So I have to manually thread each of my needles on the 10 needle machine. So I'm kind of like bummed out about that, but that's okay. I ordered the part should come soon, and I know how to fix it. So it's not a big deal. It's just something that I just have to deal with for a little bit. So it's okay. It's all gonna be fine. Okay. So I've been doing really well with the sales on Etsy. A lot of sales and even sales locally as well. Because the word got out where I live that I do a lot of embroidery. So a lot of people have been reaching out for customized gifts, which is really great. I do plan on shutting down my. Oh, thank you, Trisha. Thank you so much. I do plan on shutting down my shop December 15th. I'm not going to take any more orders after the 15th because the 17th I plan on getting in the car and heading over to Florida. So between the 15th and the 17th is when I'm going to be finalizing orders and also try to do the Christmas gifts for my family. So just trying to get all of that stuff done. So, there is just so much going on. But one of the things that I wanted to touch base on this week was let's talk about stabilizers. Okay. I was going through working on my machine, and one of the things was I was purchasing more stabilizer because I was running low on cutaway stabilizer. So I wanted to, go through the stash because I know that stabilizer can be something that's very, very confusing to those people that are new to the embroidery world, right? And even people that, even if you don't do embroidery and you're talking to somebody about getting some embroidery done, and then they're talking to you about stabilizer, you're going to be kind of like, okay, what the hell are you talking about, right? So I kind of wanted to do like this Friday to talk about embroidery, what it is, what is what do we use it for, and also go through my stash of the type of stabilizers that I use, so that I can show you what I recommend for it, what type of particular fabric or project. Okay, because it can really get confusing. All right, embroidery is one of those things that there are so many different types of thread. Okay, you have the different brands, you also have the different texture of the thread, and you also have the different weight of the thread. So depending on what you are trying to embroider, that will determine the type of thread that you want to use. And the same goes with the stabilizer. Okay, now a lot of times when I have customers or people come to me and say, hey Jeanette, I want to get something embroidered, a lot of times, sometimes they want to bring their own products to me, which I'm cool with and I'm okay with that. But one of the things that's really important is when you are embroidering on products, you need to make sure you have a good understanding of the type of fabric that you are going to be embroidering on. Sometimes you can be a very thick fabric, and sometimes it can be something that's very thin. Sometimes it's very rough to the touch. And then sometimes you have something that's really like silky or very smooth. And you really have to make sure that you understand the fabric that you're working with. Now, when you understand the type of fabric that you're working with, you also have to try to understand the type of embroidery that you're trying to do on that fabric. You have some designs that are not very heavy. Okay, now when I'm talking about heavy, I'm talking about the amount of stitching and how the actual design is stitched. If you have a design that's very dense, which is, let's say, 20 to 30,000 stitches, and it's very full, then and I should have had some examples, but I can grab them. If you have like a logo, let's say you have a logo and the logo is like very full, and stuff, that is something that's usually considered like a very dense embroidery file. Now, dense embroidery files are pretty easy to stitch out. However, though, you have to consider the fabric that you are stitching that embroidery file on. Now, that's where the stabilizer comes into place. For instance, a couple of weeks back, I was talking to you guys about a logo that I was working on for a particular customer, and she wanted the logo done on some smocks, right? Now, the smocks had very, very thin fabric material. It was kind of like a satin kind of feel, right? But it was really, really thin. So one of the things that concerned me was, is the logo that the customer wanted to have embroidered on that fabric, was it going to be able to, first of all, embroider fine? Like what I mean is, if you have something, Mellow, stop. If you have something like a particular design, right, and it's too thick, right, it's pretty dense, it has a lot of stitches involved in the actual design, and then you have thin fabric, what can happen is the thin fabric is not very strong. So when the machine is stitching on the actual fabric, you have something that's called puckering. Puckering is when the stitches are going into the fabric, and then all of a sudden the fabric starts to crunch up. You want to prevent that. So what you do is you give the fabric more strength by providing stabilizer. So if you really think about it, the word stabilizer, right, is to make things stable. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to look at the design that you want to implement on the fabric. And then you also want to take a look at the fabric. And what you want to do is you want to put the stabilizer in so that the fabric can have the amount of strength that it needs in order to absorb the design that you're trying to put on the actual fabric. And I sure hope he isn't going to play with that today. Okay, so anyway, I got Mello down there, and I'm hoping that he does not mess around with one of the noisy toys, okay? Because if not, then I'm going to have to tell him to leave. Sorry, Mello. I'm just trying to say. So anyway, so let's go down some of the stabilizers that I have, and I'm going to tell you how I use them and in what situation and what circumstance, and maybe that can help you. When you're new to embroidery, all of this can be like a big, big puzzle, okay? Especially like with the threads, right? You go and you buy the threads, and then next thing you know, you're like, okay, there's 40 weight, and then there's 60 weight. What weight do I use? Okay. Then you have the different textures of thread. Well, the same thing happens with the stabilizer. You have lightweight, you have medium weight, and then you have the heavyweight. You have cutaway, and then you have tearaway. And then you have other stuff such as the topping, okay? And the topping is what you put on top of the fabric. So I'm going to go down all the different stabilizers. I have them all here, and I'm going to pull them out one at a time, and I'm going to tell you what I have and what I actually use it for. And I'm hoping that as I go through the stabilizers, this can kind of like help you to kind of like understand what the stabilizers do and how to use them, okay? So first off, right in front of me off the bat, okay, here I have cutaway stabilizer, okay? So this is the brand that I use. It's from New Brother Red, okay? I get it right off of Amazon. This, the weight of this stabilizer, it's a medium weight. It's a 2.5 ounce, okay, per sheet. Now, I usually use the 8x8. Now, the reason why I get these is these come already pre-cut, all right? So they work well with my mighty hoops. And I use the 5x7 mighty hoops. Now, I am in the middle of working on this project. But what I want to do here is I'm going to cut this out so that you can see what a 5x5 mighty hoop looks like, okay? Because I can always finish this off later. See, right now I'm working on some dinner napkins, okay? So I have this on my multi-needle machine. This is a 5.5 by 5.5 size mighty hoop. And these are the ones that I usually use when people, when I need to embroider some dinner napkins or a logo even, because remember, logos are usually like 4 inches. So that's why these sheets by 8.5 by 8.5 work very well, because when I go to hoop this, it's the perfect size, okay? The thing is, sometimes you want to be careful when you're buying your stabilizer, for the simple fact that waste. Okay. Remember, stabilizers cost money. All right. So well, the thing is, you want you want to spend your money wisely. Okay. So what I usually do is, I'm not saying don't buy the roll. Okay. You can buy the roll because I buy them too. Okay. Just like here, this is cutaway and this is the roll. Okay. All right. And I buy it by the bulk. What would I use this for? Okay, well, I'll tell you right now. This is for the, I usually use this for the back of the shirts. Mellow, stop. I use this for the back of the shirts. What I usually do is I cut them by 13 inches. All right. I had a customer, and if you guys look through my videos, I have a video out there about the horror story of the 36 shirts. It was like my first big order shirts for business. I was very, very fortunate because the shop owner knew he knew it was my first order. Okay. And I was kind of like, oh God, I don't know if I could do this. And he was like, I don't care, just do it. You'll be fine. I'm good with whatever. And then I'm kind of like, okay, because you want to do a good job, right? So I bought these because he wanted some wordings embroidered in the back of the shirt. So of course, if you want something in the back of the shirt, you want something that's going to be pretty large, right? So I had to use my 8x17, I mean, no, 8x13 hoop. And I use this type of stabilizer. And this is cutaway, okay? Same thing as this. And as you can see, it's the same brand, okay? The only thing is this is the roll, all right? So I thought this was more cost efficient because I can go ahead and I can cut this down to the size that I need. And even later on, if I don't use the whole roll, I can always use this as little pieces as needed as well. So this worked out really, really well. So as you can see, I do use brother, I think I'm saying it right, brother Red or brother Reed. I think it's brother Reed or broth Reed, new broth Reed. Y'all know my English, okay? Because I learned Spanish first, then I learned English first, so I speak Spanglish. Okay, so anyway, y'all know what I mean. Okay, so I like this brand. This brand works very, very well, and this is really good. Now, the one thing that I say off the bat is remember this. Okay, if you have clothes, all right, I strongly recommend stay away from tearaway stabilizer for clothes. I'm not saying stay away from tearaway stabilizer for everything. What I'm saying is remember, stabilizers have different purposes for different types of fabrics. Think of it this way. Tearaway stabilizer tears, right? So as it goes through the washing machine, it dissolves. Now, stabilizer is to provide stability to the fabric for the stitches that you are putting on that fabric, okay? So you're going to want to wash that garment. So when you wash that garment, you want that stability to stay there. So in order to have that stay there, you don't want to use the cutaway because cutaway dissolves, all right? So you use, I said that backwards. The tearaway is what dissolves. The cutaway is what stays in the garment, okay? Another way, a lot of people have this saying, right? To remember this. If you wear it, you don't tear it. This is another way you can remember it. Look at your clothes. You can't tear your clothes, right? So, and also look at the fabric of your clothes. A lot of clothes have stretchy fabric, okay? So the fabric can stretch, sideways, up and down. You need the fabric to stay intact. So in order for it to stay intact, that's where this comes in, okay? The cutaway. So cutaway cannot tear. It doesn't tear. It survives the washing machine. It will be behind the inside the item, and then you border, you embroider on top of it. And every time the person or the customer puts the item in the washing machine, it's going to come out. It's going to be fine. Now, sometimes I have the question of how much stabilizer should you use? Now, that determines on the fabric that you're working on. For instance, Glendon cotton shirts, 100%. When you look at the shirt, it's kind of thick, right? You feel it, it's kind of thick. So right there, if it's thick, one sheet, works fine. Okay. If you have something that is very, very thin, for example, like the little jackets that I was working on that were kind of like polyester and they wanted the logo on that, that's when I say you add two. The reason is because the fabric is thin. And when it's thin and you are poking all these little stitches inside the fabric, what you're doing is you're kind of like crunching up the fabric. You want the fabric to stay flat and you want it to stay flush. Okay. So, in order for that to happen, if you double up on the stabilizer, what it is you're giving it more strength. And then what will happen is it's going to lie flat. That's when you see a lot of people like when they go and they embroider and then they say, oh my God, I have all this puckering. It's because you didn't use enough stabilizer. Okay. Now, another trick that you can do is you can do this. Okay. I'm telling you, there's just so many out there. This is called no-show mesh. Now, there's different types of no-show mesh. Okay. They have a type of stabilizer where you have the adhesive and then you have some that don't have the adhesive. Me personally, I always buy the adhesive and I'm going to tell you why I prefer the adhesive. Okay. You don't have to do it with the adhesive, but this is why I do it. I usually, this kind of gives that what this does is if you have it with the adhesive, you iron it on the shirt, right? If you're embroidering a shirt, right? What I usually do is I will cut the piece and then I will take this and I will iron this on inside the shirt. Now, what this does is it kind of keeps the fabric from shifting. Okay. Even though you have your item in the hoop and you may have it in there nice and tight, and then when you go like that, you hear the little drum, so you know that it's good. What you don't want is for the fabric to shift in any kind of way, because sometimes when it shifts, it can kind of distort the image that you're trying to embroider. Add this on there, okay? And then what I do is then I use 2 sheets of this whenever I have something that is very, very thin. However, if I have like a shirt, like that's very, very stretchy, okay? What I'll do is I will add this, which is the no-show mesh. And then if it's real stretchy, but it's not thin, then 1 sheet of cutaway does the job, okay? Now, there are 2 types, well, 3 types of cutaway. You got the light, you got the medium, and then you got the heavy, okay? Obviously, the heavy is for when the fabric is very, very thick. And the light is for when you have very thick fabric. What I usually do is I don't really buy the very thick or the very thin cutaway stabilizer. I just stick with the medium because I figure the medium is going to work for everything. And it kind of does. Because I also look at it as if the fabric is extremely thin, then just take 2 sheets of the medium and you're good to go. I mean, that's how I do it, and it seems to work. I did the ones, the little smucks with the emblem. I had absolutely no puckering, and what I did was I used a no-show mesh, and then I used 2 sheets of the cutaway, and then it came out beautifully. So that worked out really, really, really good. Now, let's talk about the tearaway, okay? Tearaway, let's see, that's cutaway. Here's tearaway. Okay, tearaway. I use the same brand. And I'm going to tell you something. I use the same brand, and I'm not going to tell you that I bought it because this brand is the best, okay? And I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm just saying that I am one of those economically I watch my money. That's what it is. Okay. So whatever's on sale, whatever I feel is a good buy, I buy it. Unless, and I have never come across a brand of stabilizer that I'm just like, oh, I can't buy that anymore. I never had it. So, and I've got a lot of other ones, and I'll show you the other brands that I have. And I have a whole bunch of other ones, and they all seem to work fine, and stuff. I want to show you a little trick also. You're going to be buying a lot of stabilizers. There's a lot of different types of stabilizers. They all come in these plastics, right? When you unwrap your stabilizer, don't throw away the plastic. See, like this is another brand. See, this is the no-show mesh. This is not thick. What I do is I crunch it up and then I put it right in here. That way, when I go through it, because all of it looks like white rolls, right? And you know, even though you kind of know when you touch it what kind of stabilizer you are, but sometimes if you want to rebuy it or if you kind of like the stabilizer the way it is, you may want to stick to that brand and stuff like that, and then you'll forget what you bought. Well, you won't forget if you just take this and you just stick it in here. So it's a good little tip. So this one, which is the fusible mesh, this is called super staple. Did I say that right? Yes, super stable and stuff. And I know I got this off of Amazon as well and stuff. And it's lasts a long time. So, you know, I'm not, like I said, I'm not brand name specific unless I see something that's like, wow, then I'll stick to that. But right now, all the stabilizer seems to work and do its job. But always, you know, never throw out the wrapper so that way you don't forget what it is, because sometimes you can forget and stuff. And so I always take this and I just like stick it right in here and I'm good to go. So if somebody comes out and says, hey, Jenna, you know, this is nice, what kind is it? Go inside and check it out, and then you just pull it out and then you'll remember what you bought and stuff like that. I mean, somebody gave me that tip and stuff, so that was a really good tip and stuff. So all right, so going back to the Tearaway stabilizer, I recently bought this one, and this is of course new embroidery also, and it's by 8x8. I use these for the dinner napkins, okay, because dinner napkins, the fabric, which is like right here, because I'm working on a set right now. As you can see, the fabric is pretty thick, and this is the thing. There's no stretch to it, okay? There really is very little stretch to this. So, Tearaway stabilizer works good with this, okay? So, what I usually do with a dinner napkin is I will use a Tearaway stabilizer, and this is the 1.8 ounce stabilizer, okay? Let's just show you guys what I have. Okay, this is the one that I use. And like I said, I do these on the 8.5, the 5.5 by 5.5 hoop, the little ones. That's the one I got there. And that's not cutaway. This is Tearaway. Okay. So the reason why I use Tearaway for the dinner napkins is, first of all, dinner napkins, yeah, they do get washed a lot. They do, but the thing is, like I said, learn your fabrics, okay? As you start to embroider, the more you embroider, you're going to be embroidering on so many different products and stuff like that. And as you start to become familiar with the different products that you're embroidering on, you're going to start to learn about the different fabrics, the textures, and what works with what, okay? For me, I just find that the Tearaway stabilizer works great with these. What I usually do is, after I embroider the dinner napkins, I go ahead and I put Tender Touch stabilizer behind the dinner napkin. And Melo's asleep here. Okay, Melo, can you move? Can you scoop? Thank you. This is what I use. This is cover a stitch, okay? It's where you cover stitches. This works really well. So what I'll do is I'll just cut a piece and then I iron it behind the embroidery, because it gives it a nice look. It's more clean, okay? You don't have all those stitches sticking out and stuff like that. So it gives it a nice, good cover, okay? Now, a lot of times people reach out to me and they go, well, Jeanette, you know, my Tender Touch isn't really sticking to the shirt or the dinner napkin or the kitchen towel or whatever it is that you're embroidering, okay? So that you guys know, when I put on my Tender Touch on the back of my napkins, on the back of my kitchen towels and stuff like that, I cut it down to the size where it covers the complete embroidery. And then what I do is I use my heat press, the heat press that I have right behind there. I do it at 325 degrees and I do it for 30 seconds. When I do it, and it's medium pressure, okay, because you got to remember the heat press also has pressure, okay, so it's not just the time, and it's also the degrees of the heat. the heat presses have pressure where it kind of like squishes everything together. So I have it at medium pressure because I want it to really, really stick well. And then what happens is after the 30 seconds is over and it pops open, it's kind of like the tender touch becomes like almost like one with the fabric. So what'll happen is when people go to wash it and everything, you don't have to worry about it. It's not going to peel off or anything like that. However, though, if you don't have a heat press and you use an iron, you're really going to have to press down, and you're really going to have to make sure that you are holding it for the right amount of time and that you're using the right amount of heat. Because if you don't, then what will happen is as time goes on, they start to use the product, the tender touch behind um, that you applied may end up peeling off. So that is really what I do, because a lot of people are like, yours doesn't come off. Well, mine doesn't come off because I'm actually using a heat press, and the heat press does a lot of the work for me. So, heat presses are really, really good to invest. If you can't do a heat press, another thing that you can do is, Cricut has those easy presses that you can do. Those are really, really good as well because the easy press iron, it has a flat surface, and the heat on that flat surface is very, very even. And I know they have the different sizes. I believe they have like a mini. I would just probably get something, maybe the largest that they have. That way you're covered. And they don't take that much space, because I will say a heat press does take up a lot of space, because as you can see, the one that I have behind me, it's right there on the corner of my desk, and it is pretty big. Okay. So sometimes that can be challenging, the space, because that is one thing about embroidery. Embroidery takes space, okay? And that is something that I didn't realize until I really started getting into this, because like most of you guys, I started with the Brother SC 1900, which is just a machine. It's a combo sewing slash embroidery machine. Didn't take too much space. But then as time goes on, next thing you know, you're buying thread, you're buying stabilizer, you're buying all this stuff that you need for your machine. And then next thing you know, you are like all over the place. And then I'm like, okay, so which is why now, boom, I got a room. So I'm like, thank God we're empty nesters, okay? Because I'm just like, this is like, whoa, okay? So anyway, all right. So I want to also touch base and talk to you guys about the topping, okay? There are two types of topping that you can put when you are embroidering, all right? When you're embroidering things, especially when you're doing towels. Towels have something like this plush. Like let's say I wanted to embroider this. This has a lot of texture on top of it, right? So if I'm embroidering, what will happen is the stitches are going to sink in. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that I have some kind of topping between the fabric and the stitches, so that it kind of lifts up the stitches a little bit, and it kind of, it won't let the stitches sink into the fabric. That's where you have the topping. Now there are two types. We have one that you can that's heat activated, and then there's one that's water. Okay. The most popular is the water, all right, because I think it's a little more affordable. Water soluble, and I'm going to show you right now, is this one right here that I have. I have a big roll of it. This usually lasts me probably about like 6 months, okay, because I do a lot of embroidery, so and I do a lot of towels, so and yeah, a lot of towels and stuff like that. So I do this mostly for the towels. But this actually, you sit this on top, and then you embroider on top, and then you just rip it off. Okay. This is water. Okay. You can also take a bottle of water and you put it, you spray on it, and then it just disappears. Then you also have the heat. I don't like the heat personally. I'm gonna be honest. This is the one I have. Okay, I got it from All Stitch, and it's heat. What it is the same concept, except instead of spraying water on it, you take your iron and you put it on and it disappears. I don't like it because I felt like it was messing up my iron, and I use my iron a lot. So I was just like, this is not working for me. So I was like, all right. So I have it. So this is like a backup emergency that I have, but I usually like my water salve because this is really what works for me. So, oh, I'm hot. I am really, really hot, guys. and stuff. And I'm definitely gonna have to, I have a hard stop for you guys. Oh, I'm already at 8:30. I have a hard stop because I gotta run and help my husband with something tonight. So anyway, and I told him I will not work, I will not talk past 9 o'clock. Okay. So can't get the man mad. All right. So anyway, all right. So let's go through here and let me show you what I have. Okay. I also have the cutaway that's pretty big. This is the 12 by 10. I use this for when I embroider shirts for kids. It's just paper. This is cutaway. This does not tear. Okay. It is, let me see. This is by New World Cutaway. Okay. So it's really, really good and stuff. And then I also want to get something because I want to show you guys something about embroidery. So hold on 1 minute. Give me 2 minutes. I'll be right back. I want to show you something. I'm back. Okay, now, reason why I want to show you guys this. All right, because we're talking about stabilizers and when to use them, okay? I'm going to open up one of my kitchen towels because I want you guys to see when I'm talking about the tender touch, how it lays on the kitchen towel when I do the heat press. I'm hoping this will help you guys understand, because I get a lot of questions about that, because a lot of times people say the tender touch isn't sticking to my towel. So all right, I want to show you what it looks like when I do it. Okay, so this is a towel that I have on my shop that I sell, right? It's called Mom's Kitchen. It's one of the designs that I make, okay? So I use Tearaway, okay? Because a lot of the towels, my towels are really decorative towels, right? They're for people just to hang around the stove, you know, just to show off and stuff like that. So one of the things that I do is in the back is I put the tender touch. Now, I want you guys to see, this is the back of the towel, right? So, okay, let me show it to you this way. Here's the front, okay? But then look at the back, okay? So, you know that when you embroider, the back doesn't look this neat, okay? Because what happens is you see all the different little stitches, like, you know, all over the place, right? When you put the tender touch, which is this, okay? When I put the tender touch, I use the heat press, right? And I was telling you guys, heat press, remember, 325 for 30 seconds, medium pressure. I want you guys to take a look at it, and I'm going to try to move this as close as possible so you guys can see. See how it kind of, it's so close to the fiber of the fabric of the towel that you can barely see it, right? And then when you look up close to the back, but see the little stitch right there? But it's behind the tender touch, so it's not sticking out or anything. But see how it looks? It looks like it's like crisp. So when they go to wash this, it's going to be okay. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, you know, it's not going to peel off or anything like that, because it really is stuck in there very, very good. So, you know, when you do the gotta watch the dog, make sure that he's not going anywhere he's not supposed to go. So, you know, just wanted to show you guys this, because sometimes the visual is just better than me just talking and stuff like that, you know. So anyway, now when it comes to baby blankets, Okay, because somebody was asking me about baby blankets. All right. These are some of the baby blankets that I've embroidered, like some of my samples, right? Now, this is cutaway. The reason now, can I use tearaway on the baby blankets? Yes, I can use tearaway on the baby blankets. Yes, you can. Because the thing is, look, it doesn't snag or anything like that. Now, why did I choose the cutaway on this? And as you can see, this is without the tender touch. Now, if I was selling this, right, then what I would do is I would cut around and then I would take the tender touch and I would put it on top, just like I did with the kitchen towel. And you're not going to see all of this and you're not going to see all this backing. It's going to look more flush and everything. The reason why I use cutaway on a baby blanket is because you got to remember people use baby blankets differently, right? Some people use it as a decor and something that they just want to keep, right? And they'll use it, but very rare. Then you have some people that they love it and they just want to use it every day. Now, my son is 21 years old right now, okay? But I know when he was a baby, babies can get messy, you know? And sometimes they get messy at times where you least expect it, right? They sometimes spit up and, you're feeding them the bottle and then they spit up or they go to the bathroom, you know the drill, okay? So sometimes you'll have the baby laying on the blanket and then an accident will happen and the next thing you know you're going to wash it, right? So if I don't know how the customer is going to use the blanket all the time, if they're going to use it as a decorative piece or if they're going to use it as something for the baby every day, if they are going to use it for the baby every day, I want it to last, okay? Because this is the thing, you know the customer is always going to remember when a product is good or when a product is bad. Okay. You don't want to be remembered as having the bad product. Okay. You want to be remembered as having, the product that they love. So I'll use the cutaway. So I'll use the cutaway and then I'll put the tender touch on top. That way, if they throw it in the washing machine all the time, and then I know it's going to be fine. And even though this is not stretchy fabric, it just gives the embroidery more support and it's going to work out fine. Okay. So, I didn't even go through my stabilizer. Let me go through the stabilizer real quick. Okay. So, if I'm talking too fast, you guys let me know, but I'll go through the chats and everything. Okay. So, don't worry. All right. Because I'm going to go through this little stash over here. So, I already pulled out this big boy. And this is the thing that I know. I buy in bulk. Because the last thing you want to do is be in the middle of a project, right, Milo? Be in the middle of a project and then you run out of stabilizer, run out of thread, run out of bobbin and stuff like that. So I'm a bulk girl. So I usually buy in bulk. And when I see that my bulk is getting to the low end, I start rebuying and I buy in bulk again because I never want to run out. That's the worst thing that can happen. Now, these are new stabilizers that I have purchased. I decided to try getting the stabilizers from All Stitch. I have not used these yet. One of them this one's called a series. And it says -25. So I believe this is light stabilizer. And let me open it up while I have you guys in here so that we can take a look at this and maybe I can feel it and I can tell you what it feels like compared to the other stabilizer that I have right in front of me. Because I have not opened it yet. This is something that I bought. All right away I feel this is thin. Yep, this is very, very thin. And this is cutaway. Yeah, so let me take out a sheet. And I wish you guys could feel it with me, but I will tell you exactly. This is thin. So the only thing, when they're stapled together, that's not good. They should not have done that. That's not good, but oh well, that's all right. It's just one hole, it's no big deal. But it would have been nice if they didn't do that, but that's okay. It happens. Yeah, they did. They stapled the they put the staple on the stabilizer. There you go. All right, there you go. All right, so this is thin. I can tell right off the bat that this stabilizer from All Stitch is a lot thinner than the stabilizer from the other one that I got. Where is it? I think I put my blankets on top of it. I'm a mess. Here it is. Yeah. Okay, because this is a 2.5 ounce. And I don't know if you can tell. Okay, this is All Stitch. And it doesn't feel bad. It doesn't feel bad. Don't think that, I'm saying, oh, I don't get their stabilizer. No, no, no. It feels the same. I just happen to think that this one feels a little thicker. This is a 2.5 ounce. Nope, that's not it. It's not the one I opened. Where is it? Here it is. And I think this is, doesn't really say. Here it is. I think it's a 2.5 ounce. It's a series. So I don't know. It's just a little. It'll do the job. Maybe it is the same. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I think it is the same. It just looks a little thinner. It does. It looks a little thinner. I will tell you this. And you know what? If it's the same weight and it's a little thinner, that could be a good thing. Because you got to remember too, when you are adding this in the back of a shirt and then you're embroidering it and you cut around it, the customer is going to have that there. You know what I mean? So you want to have it as thin as possible. But you can always put tender touch and you can put it on top too. So, that's just another option and stuff. But I do notice that the big companies do not do that. So I was kind of like, that's kind of weird. So maybe that's an extra step that we seem to be doing that big companies are like, there's no reason for it. So I'm like, okay, so that's fine. All right, so I'm got a little mess here. So cutaway, I do buy them big, like this, but this is usually the ones that I use for the shirt. Now, I was buying these first, okay, and this is the cutaway, and they're pre-cut. But this is the thing that happened. When I started looking at the rolls were cheaper. And I'm like, wait a minute, I could cut my own stuff. So I started buying the roll. And then what I did was I measured this. And then I would just go to my cutting table. And then I would just go ahead and just cut the stabilizer. And then I would make my stack of stabilizers. Because if you really think about it, when you look at the prices of stabilizers that are pre-cut versus the ones that come in the roll, you're going to notice that the rolls are cheaper. And so to me, moving forward, the only thing that I personally, for me, that works to buy pre-cut is the 8x8, which is the one for the small, okay, for the small hoops. When it comes to shirts and stuff like that, I'll buy the big roll and I'll pre-cut my own stuff, okay? So just something to put out there. So there was another stabilizer that I bought from All Stitch, and I want to try this. It's called Pro Stitch 200. Now, supposedly this is supposed to be really good, like if you are working with mesh shirts. Mesh shirts are very, very tricky because it has a texture on the fabric, and also it can be very, very slippery. So this is supposed to really help to keep it stable. I have not embroidered on a mesh shirt yet, but I bought it because you just never know if a customer is going to come with a shirt and then I'm going to be like, okay, I need to embroider that. So I already wanted that here. But I think what I'll probably do is I'll probably go to Joann's and just buy a yard of mesh and then use it with the stabilizer just to see. And I'll probably just test stitch a logo just to see how this stabilizer works with the mesh. So just to see how that works. But I did get this from All Stitch, and it's called Pro Stitch. So supposedly this is supposed to be really, 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 really good. Let me see what else I got in here. I have more of the topping stabilizer. This one, I believe I got this off of All Stitch. Very different type of texture. This topping, ooh, you can tell I haven't used it in a while. It's thick, okay? So when you're looking at the topping, you do have different types of thickness, all right? This is the one that I use for my kitchen towels. Um, as you can see, it is very lightweight, which it works fine, okay? But let's say you have something that is very, very puffy and furry and stuff like that. You're gonna want something that's thicker. So this is what's gonna work. Okay, so this is really thick. And as always, I have my label in here so I can tell you exactly what this is. Um, this is actually called embroidery film, okay, which is why it is thicker. And let me just show this so that way you guys can see what it is that I got. Okay, this is embroidery stabilizer, and as you can see, it's water soluble, but it's considered film. Okay, this is thicker. All right, it is very thick. This is very, very good if you're doing bath towels. Okay, like when I did my mom and dad's bath towel and stuff, this is what I used, even though I used embossed embroidery files, and then I embroidered on top of the embossed embroidery files to make sure that the stitches didn't sink in. But you want to use this. It's the thicker, the water soluble that you use when you are embroidering on bath towels, towels that are very, very thick, where the stitches can sink in, the better. Okay. Remember, as time goes on, those fibers are going to move and shift. And what you want to do is you want to make sure the longevity of your product. Okay. Even though you pull it out of that embroidery machine and it looks really nice right from the very beginning, what you want to do is you want to make sure that it doesn't just look nice when you pull it out and a customer picks it up. You want it to look nice a month, 2 months, or even a year or 2 years later. Okay. You want the longevity of that product to really look good. Okay, because I'm going to be honest, that is what customers are going to judge you by when they talk about your embroidery skills and stuff. I mean, I think I saw once a customer, she bought a birthday shirt, and I think I mentioned this in the past, and I saw a comment, and I felt bad for the person, that owned the shop. They said the shirt was gorgeous and it looked beautiful, and their child wore their birthday shirt for their birthday, and it served its purpose. But they said once they put it in the wash, and I think the person, what they did was they may have used Tearaway instead of Cutaway. They said that when they took it out of the wash, it was so crumbled up that they just had to throw out the shirt. But they were kind of like, and she didn't leave a real bad review, but she of course isn't gonna, like, she didn't leave a 5 star. But she was kind of like, it's a shirt for one day. And a lot of times when you got someone that's buying a birthday shirt and they're spending like 25, $30, I know me personally, if I'm spending that much on a shirt, I do want to wear it more than once, because that's a lot of money for a shirt for only one day. So anyway, um, just something to think about. So you want to make sure that you're using the right stabilizer and the right topping whenever you are working on your project and stuff like that. So this one is really, really good. So I'm going to put this aside. Let me see what else I got in here. I got more goodies. Let me see. Let me pull them out. Okay, here is more stabilizer, more no-show mesh. Okay, so I see, because I bought in bulk. Okay, so let me see what else I got in here. Okay, another film. And do I have the paper for this? Yes, I do. See, I always put my papers in here. This is another film that I got, and I believe this is the heat one, because see how I have this one and it wasn't really open? That's this one. And yes, it is. This is the heat, and this is the one that I tried. This is thick. It is thick. But like I said, what I did not like was I felt it got gumpy on my iron. And I like, I'm just very particular about my stuff, especially my iron. I like, I'm one of those that the bottom of my iron has to be cleaned all the time, right? I'm always looking at it and I'm always cleaning it and stuff like that, for the simple fact that the last thing you want to do is, if you have something that's white and you need to iron out the wrinkles and stuff, that you take your iron and then you put it on the fabric, and then the fabric is ruined because the iron was dirty or it had some residue from something else that you did before. So um it just made me nervous about it because I just kept looking at the iron after I ironed it and stuff. And maybe what I will do is I will buy a separate iron just to use this on. That way I don't get nervous about my iron. Because right now I have a wireless Panasonic iron, which I love. I mean, not wireless, it's cordless. Okay, cordless. Okay. So I love that. And I really don't want to ruin that, but I do have extra irons laying around the house because I don't think nobody in this house is ever ironing clothes anymore. I don't think anybody irons clothes and stuff. So maybe I'll use one of those for this. So I just, it's just something that I'm just worried about. That's all. I mean, it's just something that I just didn't like. Used it once, then I was kind of like, I don't know. So I just have it there. So it's like I said, this is my go-to if this stuff runs out. If this stuff runs out, then I'll just go to this stuff, and this stuff runs out. Then I'll say fine, I'll do the heat. So yeah, and then the rest I have a lot of no show mesh, and more of the different sizes of stabilizer. I do buy the different sizes and stuff. This is Tearaway. This is the Tearaway of the same of the 8x10 Tearaway that I use for the dinner napkins that I have, but it's just bigger and stuff. But yeah, so that's all my stabilizers, guys. Yeah, the rest is all the same. Oh, sticky stabilizer. Don't forget the sticky stabilizer. Here I go. Sticky stabilizers. I have it in the big roll. Okay. Big roll, small roll. Okay. Sticky stabilizer. Very, very good. I use these a lot with my fast frames. I use them sometimes when I'm doing dinner napkins on my single needle machine. These are really, really good if you are floating your projects. Okay. Floating is such a good way to hoop your items, especially if you're using a single needle machine. It's the way to go. I'm telling you. So teach yourself how to float. If you guys don't know how to float, I think I have a video out there showing you guys how to. It makes life so much easier. It's easier to hoop your project. It's easier for you to align the project to make sure that you are, embroidering right in the spot where you need it to be. And this is really good for floating. Okay. It can get kind of pricey though. I ain't gonna lie. The sticky stabilizer can get a little pricey. Okay. So if the price of sticky stabilizer is a stickler to you, then one of the things that I recommend is use cutaway, hoop the cutaway stabilizer, take temporary heat adhesive, right? Some spray, just spray it on the stabilizer, and then float your item. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Okay. It's not as strong, but it works just as good. Okay. You just have to make sure that you watch it and that it doesn't, go anywhere. So, just spray the cutaway stabilizer or the tearaway stabilizer. Just spray it with the temporary heat adhesive and then just place the item on it. And then you can just put it in your machine and go. I also do use these a lot with my fast frames. For those that don't know, this is what fast frames are. It's very similar to the magnetic hoop, okay, for the single needle. This is the magnetic hoop for the single needle. You can use sticky stabilizer on this too. Works great, okay. This is actually my favorite hoop for the single needle machine. These are fast frames for the multi-needle. They come in different sizes and stuff. All this stuff that you see on here, okay, right here, this is from the sticky stabilizer because I put it on there and then I'll just place the item on here. I use this a lot for when I am embroidering laptop cases. Laptop cases are pretty big And this is like really, really good to embroider the laptop cases. So I use all my fast frames for that and my sticky stabilizer, which reminds me, I have a bunch of laptop cases that I have to embroider because I got a bunch of orders for those as well. So guys, I am getting close to my 9 o'clock. So I am going to go to the chat because as always, I like to address everybody's questions and stuff because I'm here to help and here to support you guys in learning how to embroider and all that kind of stuff. So if you need something or have questions, I always like to make sure I address them. And also, you guys know I have that Facebook group, which is called Happy Hour, Embroidery Happy Hour Adventures. Join the group. If you guys get stuck, need help or anything, post it on there. If I can't respond, there's so many people out there that are willing to share their knowledge and their experience with you. You're going to be able to get the help that you need. And I've even had a couple of folks even reach out to me personally, send me a Facebook message and stuff. I have no problem videotaping, videoing with you or even calling you or stuff like that to help you walk through an issue. I'm okay with that. Don't feel like you're bothering me or anything like that. I'm here to help. Okay. So just want to let you guys know, don't ever feel that that you're alone out there. And don't be afraid of that machine. Okay. Go for it. You spent the money on that machine, you know, do your thing. And if you make a mistake, so what? You made a mistake, big deal. It's fabric. You can get plenty of fabric. Whatever it is that you're doing, you can get it again. Just start with inexpensive blanks. That's all. Just start with inexpensive blanks. And then as your confident level builds up, then you go ahead and then you can start working on more expensive stuff. So just something to put out there. Also, I do want to share this tip with you guys. Somebody on our Facebook group put down this, okay? These are, and I went on Amazon and I ordered, and I kind of ordered a lot, okay? But I'm gonna tell you something. This was a great tip, and I just want to make sure I share it with you guys because she put it out there, okay? Just in case you guys are not part of the Facebook group. What this is these are disposable mascara brushes. What she did was she posted a video on the group taking this, and she had a multi-needle, but you can do this on your single needle too. And she used this to clean, okay, the to clean the the area of the bobbin and stuff like that to get all the lint out. And it worked fantastic. So I ended up buying about like 200 of them because I was like, yeah, they're disposable, right? But I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think I needed 200 of them. These are super soft brushes, okay? They're really super soft. And I have been really been able to get in there and get the lint out of my multi-needle machines and stuff like that. So it's been like, this has been really, really good. So I forgot her name that posted it, but if you are in here on the chat, I really want to say thank you for that. I mean, that was a really, really great tip. And I'm so happy that you shared it with everybody because this really is awesome. I mean, I loved this tip. I have been doing this to clean all my multi-needle machines and the single needle machine. And I'm like, oh my God, this is fabulous. Because I know some people say use a Q-tip and all that kind of stuff. But because of the ridges of this brush, you are really able to get in there and clean the machine really, really well. I was really impressed. I was like, whoa. I was like, okay, so this has got to be like the tip of the year. Okay. So I was just like, I'm so happy that she put that on there. So as you can see, I bought a whole bunch. So I probably won't need a new brush for maybe another 3 or 4 years, I think. Okay. And these were inexpensive. Let me tell you, I went on Amazon and I bought all of these and they only cost like $5.99. So it was like, wow. So, I was really like impressed. So I was just like, wow, this is pretty cool. So anyway, wanted to share that and stuff before I go up and down all of the comments on the chat and stuff because I really wanted to share that tip with you guys because that was like really super neat. I really, really love that. So hey Sassy, hey Mary, I see Kid Station, hey Miss Banks, hey Cheryl, hey Trisha, and Trisha, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Hey Beth, hey Robin, It's a hey Miss Max, how are you? Hey Eartha, I see Iris. Okay, let me see. Oh, everybody's just saying hi, but then okay. Then it says, let me see. You only embroider, no Cricut. No, I do Cricut as well. I got my Cricut maker. I started with a Cricut Explorer, then I got a Cricut maker. The Cricut Maker I haven't done too many videos on though and stuff. I've been doing a lot of the videos on the embroidering, but I will start doing the Cricut. But the things there's so many videos out there. Like there's Jennifer Maker. She has so many videos on the Cricut and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of figured like the embroidery thing has been kind of my thing. But if you guys want to see some videos on the Cricut and stuff like that, I can do some. I mean, I don't have a problem doing it because I still use my Cricut, and stuff. I still like it. I think it's a really neat thing to have and stuff. Um, hey Iris. Oh, everybody saying hi, Mello. Nice sweater. Oh, thank you. Hey, Walk by Faith. Hey, Robin. I see Deidre. Hey, Alma. How are you? Hey, Angela. Merry Christmas to everyone. My husband and I are watching our Christmas videos, watching Home Alone 2 tonight. Oh, enjoy, enjoy. Hey, Karen. How are you? Hey, Christian. Hi, Jeanette. I think Milo thinks he knows he's on YouTube. He looks right into the camera. I think so too. He's been a fan. I just started his own channel. Um, let's see. Everyone lives in Houston, Texas, surrounded by the area sewing and vacuum warehouse has its stabilizers on sale. Buy one, get one free. Oh man, walk by faith. I wish I would. And what's funny is this is really an expensive craft. It really is. You start thinking about all the stuff that you have to acquire just to stitch out and all that kind of stuff. You'd be amazed. I mean, I never thought that I would fill up a whole room. I really didn't and stuff. Hey Tammy, hey Norma, hey Lalisha, how are you? Stabilizer confuses me. Sometimes I don't know what to use. Another thing, Alma, there is something. Here is an article that really does help a lot too. If you were to Google, I've done this in plenty of videos, Fabrics 101 Stabilizer and Design Guide. This actual document is from, and I think it's from embroiderylibrary.com. Okay. But if you were to take this article, if you just Google it, it'll pop up. I take it, I print it out. I have it right here, right next to my embroidery machine. And one of the things that I love about that article is that it tells you about the fabric, the type of stabilizer that it recommends, and it even tells you about the needle, okay, that they recommend for every type of particular fabric. So that will help you, Alma, to kind of understand what you should at least it's a starting point as to what stabilizer to use and stuff. If you wear it, they'll tear. Yep, we have a whole series of movies between football games, of course. Hey Clara, how are you? Hey Miss Miles. Oh, and if you guys, just something I wanted to remind you guys, if you guys are part of the Christmas gift exchange, please remember, have your gifts mailed out by December 11th. I've already gotten some feedbacks on some of the folks that are part of the group where they have already received their gifts. They're ecstatic about it. I have the gift for my person right now, but there is just one more thing that I want to add to the gift, so I'm going to be putting it in the mail on Monday. So just wanted to let you guys know. Remember, please put it out there by December 11th. Okay, so that way everyone has their gift by the 25th. Okay. Let's see, is there anything else out there? I also started with the Brother Embroidery Sewing Machine. Still have the machine. I still have mine. As you can see, my SC1900s right over there. And I still use it. Still use it. Hey, Crafty Puerto Rican, how are you? And if you guys haven't seen the Crafty Puerto Rican, she got some really, really good videos. So I recommend you guys check her channel out. She's like really, really cool. I like the videos. She's very, very detailed in what she teaches too. So she's really good. She really is and stuff. I mailed my Easter gift out to date, although I made it a month ago. Hey, Miss Banks, I will be mailing mine out on Monday. Mello got bored. He sure did. Oh, thank you, Iris. Um, cut it myself. I don't want to waste my stabilizer. Yeah, Iris, you know, it's like I said, I do not waste any stabilizer if I buy the 8 by 8, but that's only because I'm using it for logos and I'm using it for this small hoop. Okay. That is the only time. So you know, but the all the other times, as you can see, I like to buy the rolls and I like to cut them myself. It's usually the 8 by 8 that I find kind of works for me. All the other pre-cut or these pre-cuts work for me too. Okay, especially the tearaway this size, because these are the ones that I use for the kitchen towels. So these work pretty good for me too as well. So but those are the only two that I actually buy that are pre-cut. Everything else I like to buy them in rolls and stuff. I use the heat press sheet to cover the item. My 1900 is now out of the box. Do you think, Trisha? And I am setting up my laptop. Can you please point me to the video to walk me through downloading the PS applique files from Etsy to my USB and using the HTV and satin stitch? I do have one, Trisha, on how to do it. When you buy your files, it's basically the same concept as is if you were downloading a file from anywhere else. They'll have a button where you have download. What it'll happen is it will download it either somewhere on your computer, and then all you do is have to copy and paste it into your USB drive. Make sure though, Trisha, that's one thing that I will say. Make sure that when you are buying your files, okay, especially designs, if it's a brother machine, in which I see you say you have an SC1900, that it's in a PES format, okay. However, though, if you are using the Brilliance embroidery software and you want to buy fonts, I recommend buying them in the BX format, but only if you are using in Brilliance. If you are not using in Brilliance, then no. Always stick to PES format, okay? Because that is the only format that the brother machine reads, okay? And also make sure that you understand that that machine is a 5x7 hoop. So you need to buy the designs that either fit in a 4x4 or 5x7. If you buy a design that's too big, because that happened to me when I bought my first design, it was too big. And then when I had it in the USB and I went to put it in the machine wasn't reading it. And it kept saying too big. So I bought it from embroiderydesigns.com. The lady was so nice. She was like, which one did you buy? And then I told her, and she said, oh, you need a 5x7. I said, yeah. So she emailed me the 5x7 file. They were really nice about it because I didn't know, you know, I thought the machine would just automatically like resize it. It doesn't work that way. So you got to make sure that you're buying the right format and the right size for the machine to read. Okay. Because if not, then the machine's not going to do it. Jeanette, please share the link to the mascara brush thing. I will, Deidre, I will put it on our Facebook group. So that way you guys can see. I mean, it was like $5.99 for a whole bunch of these. This is only one bag. I have another bag that's full. So these brushes will probably last me for like 3 or 4 years, you know. So it's like, you know, really like awesome. I mean, I thought this was a really good deal. I mean, $5.99 for all these brushes, that's not bad. Even though, you know, to be honest, when I look at these brushes, you don't even need that much because these brushes, you can reuse them. So I just have like 1 or 2 in my box right now out, and I just reuse them, and then I just go like this, and then I just clean off the lint. So it just works, you know, works really good. So this is something that's good to do. You know, I mean, I shout out to that person that really put that out there because I thought that was like really cool and stuff. So Deidre, don't worry, I will put that link out there of where I bought this and stuff. Jennifer Maker, yeah, Jennifer Maker is awesome. She has so many videos on the Cricut. I actually like her channel a lot. She's really good. And what I really like is too, she's very, very, very detailed and stuff like that. So she's really good and stuff. Hey, Cuthbert, thanks. Oh, you are so welcome, girl. You earned it. Shoot, I mean, you work really hard on that channel. I could tell, and I could tell your videos are really good. I watch them. I like 'em. I like what you do and stuff. I bought my beanies today. Oh, I guess Miss Miles is gonna be doing beanies. Who wants to chat and craft one day to make beanies? I'll do it with you, Miss Miles, if you want to chat and stuff. Let me know. Just let me know and we'll do it together, okay? And stuff. I think I missed what the brushes are for. Hey, Miss Miles, these are to clean the machine. That's what these are. You know how usually, the brother machine comes with that little lint brush for you to go ahead and take the lint out. Well, these brushes, because it's so curvy, right? And it has all these different angles, because these are really mascara brushes, right? You're supposed to, but they're great for the lint. So and it works. It really does work. So I highly recommend. I'm telling you, like, whenever I come up with a good tip, this is the way to do it. Okay. Another good tip that I got from talking with you guys on this channel was this, which I think was so awesome. Okay. Um, Save your pill bottles. And I'm going to tell you why. When you save your pill bottles, what you can do is your old needles. See, I have a little label. It says old needles. So whenever I'm changing out my needles, I take all my old needles and I just put them in here. And then when this is full, and as you can see, they're already very full. Okay. Because I sew a lot. Okay. Then you can take this container and then you can throw it in the trash. And the reason why I like this idea is because the last thing you want to do is to take a needle, and sometimes you'll wrap it in tissue or something like that and you throw it in the trash. But you just never know, like, when you throw things in the trash and you put them in the garbage can. And I know that they go and they put them in the truck and stuff, but you don't know if somebody manually touches the bag to throw it out or to locate it to another place. The last thing you want to do is to, like, for them to accidentally get hurt. So I just do this because I think it's just safe. So I'll, whenever we run out, we have an extra one of these. I just put a little sticker on it that says "old needles," and then I just put it here. And then when I'm changing out my needles, I go ahead and then I just put the stuff in here. So that's what I like to do and stuff. So this was another neat thing that I got. So this somebody told me, "Hey Eve, how are you? I hope your finger's doing better and stuff." Yeah, I mean, you guys don't know, Eve had an accident with her finger and stuff with the rotary cutter, which rotary cutters are, let me tell you, it's deadly. Crafting is deadly. Embroidery is deadly. It's dangerous sport. Okay, we should get hazardous duty pay, if you ask me, because you can get, I mean, I see accidents where people have been sewing and they have gotten the needle through their finger. Okay, which is why I tell people use chopsticks. Okay, they got cute chopsticks. Go to the dollar store and stuff, buy the chopsticks, and then take the chopsticks, and because sometimes when you stick your needle in your fingers in there, it's usually because you want to hold down the fabric, right? Or you want to smooth it out. Take the chopsticks and smooth it out like that, and stuff. Now, what happened with Eve, unfortunately, was the rotary cutter. Now that happened to me twice. Okay. And let me tell you, those rotary cutters, boy, they can slice. All right. And I was holding the ruler and it sliced, but I sliced off pieces of my finger, but it didn't go like real deep or whatever. But what happens then to me, this is what happened to me. Then I got rotary shy, because I didn't want to use my rotary cutter. So when I started buying scissors, and I started using scissors because I got scared of the rotary cutter. But I came across a lady that showed me this rotary cutter, which I really like. Okay. And I have not had an accident since using this one. And this is one that I kind of recommend. It's the KA1, and it's called RS45. This one. Now, what I liked about this is, first of all, I like the way it feels in my hand, and it's the blade comes out with pressure. So some of these rotary cutters, as you can see, like when you put the pressure, see how it kind of comes out, right? Some of these rotary cutters, these other ones, I like them, but this is the one that sliced my hand. And let me tell you, I hate this rotary cutter. This the Cricut, okay? This is like danger. This is like kill me, why don't you? Okay? Because you take it like this, right? The safety's out, and then all it is blade. And let me tell you, two times I went like that and I sliced my skin. And I was like, oh, I'm so done with this one because it's just too accident prone. So I have it, but I don't use it. Then I said, let me use this one, the Olga one, right? Because you go like this. And well, I kind of just use this for my pick and shears now. I didn't like it for the same fact. I do have this one. This one I'm not a fan of because it's the same way as the Cricut. See, very, very similar. But I use this for the small stuff, for small curves. But my favorite, honestly, is this one because I don't know, for some reason, I have never had an accident with this one because I don't know if it's because of the pressure or what, but this has been my favorite. You know, this one I stay away from, period, because every time I open it up and I look at it, I see death. I'm like, whoa, I can see myself fingerless, you know? So I'm scared of it. It's just, and I think it's just really me because twice I sliced myself. And I'm not saying it's the manufacturer's fault. I mean, shoot, it was me, you know. I did it, you know. I wasn't careful enough, you know. That's my fault, you know. But I think psychologically, because I cut myself twice with this, I'm just afraid to use it. I have it, but it's not one of those that I will pick up right away. And if I do pick it up, trust me, I'm super careful with this one. So, but Eve, I'm so happy that you're doing so much better, and that it's gonna pass. It's gonna heal up, and then before you know it, you're gonna be cutting that fabric again. The stabilizer and all that stuff. And I think so. But I'm really glad that you're doing a lot better and stuff, and the things are going okay and stuff. So let's see what else we got here. Hey Harmony, how are you? How you doing? Um oh yes, and please don't forget to like this video if you like all the information that I shared with you guys and stuff. And if you guys have ideas or have something that you want me to cover and stuff like that, please let me know. And I'll do research and everything, because sometimes I want to learn new things too. So I don't mind doing the extra work and trying to figure out what it, new stuff. I mean, I don't mind learning, or doing that trial and error with you guys. I really don't mind it all and stuff. So I know that I said I was gonna get off at 9. So hubby hasn't come up and said anything. So I am going to sneak down, and hopefully he doesn't notice the time. So guys, really appreciate you guys spending this Friday evening with me. I really look forward to all these embroidery happy hours with you guys. I think this is like awesome. I actually like it because it's, I don't have really anybody else to talk to about embroidery. Because sometimes when I talk to embroidery about other people, with other people, they're kind of like, So anyway, but I like spending time with you guys anyway. So because it's fun. So guys, I hope you guys like this happy hour. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I do happy embroidery hour every Friday at 8 o'clock. And join our Facebook group at Embroidery Happy Hour Adventures. That way you can ask for advice and stuff like that and everything. So, so you guys, enjoy. Have a good week, good weekend. Enjoy your weekend. Don't work too hard. I'm already like a little backed up on some of my orders. So I have to hustle, turn these machines back on. But I've already promised myself I'm not gonna work past midnight anymore because that can be burnout. Gotta take care of self first. So but things will get done. Things will get done and stuff. And I know I'm gonna get to the point where I'm just going to have to say no to some orders and I'll just be like, look, I just don't have the time. So anyway, guys, so I just wanted to let you guys know how I'm doing and talk to you guys about the stabilizers because I was looking at my stabilizers and I was kind of like, ooh, I got a lot of stabilizers over there. Maybe I could go through them and talk about each one, why I bought them and how I use them. So anyway, hope you guys found it useful and stuff. So let me see. Don't blame yourself. This smile's funny. You're welcome, Robin. All right, guys. Well, I am going to leave right now. I'm going to sign off. Have a great evening. Please take care and stuff. And I will see you guys next Friday. Okay. So I'll talk to you later. Happy sewing and happy embroidery. Love you guys all. Bye.